Hello and welcome to Pearl Magazine. The COVID-19 pandemic has shut down pretty much everything, including education. Most schools, colleges, and universities have decided to take their classes online. Local students had to shorten their school year and must now face the daunting task of preparing for the new school term as summer holidays end. School staff are busy as well, sanitizing campuses and creating new platforms for online teaching. April Joe reports one tutoring center is helping minority students catch up with a lost school year. Ten-year-old Aaron Dungana is going to be a primary 5 student at a Shamshui Post school in the new school year. Since vacation started in mid-July, Aaron can't exactly say he's had a wonderful time off.
Because of the pandemic, the football ground is closed, so I cannot go to play football. I seldom go outside.
Aaron usually spends the morning doing homework. When his parents are off work, they're there to give him some tutoring.
My teachers give me English, math, Chinese, and general studies. The Chinese is hard because I don't know how to write most of the words.
The whole audience keeps out.
Aaron's Nepalese parents don't speak Chinese, so they can't help him with this subject.
And for general studies also, there are some difficulties because there's a lot about the Hong Kong. So, and actually we didn't study in Hong Kong, so we don't know a lot about the Hong Kong histories.
Aaron's parents enrolled him in a tutoring center where the Chinese curriculum is specially designed for non-Chinese kids. Students are encouraged to speak Chinese during class. But the classes were suspended when the third wave of COVID-19 infections started. CEO and co-founder Manoj Dar has decided to keep the center open. Tutors are working in the center to correct students' homework. He says parents can also contact the center to ask about studying in person.
Not all children and not all families would have internet or stable internet, or for that matter tablets dedicated to a child, or for that matter printers and scanners and all these kind of things at home. So all right, no problem, come sit with our teacher, we will download it for you, give you the printout, you can go home, learn, bring it back to us after 2 days, 3 days, we will correct it for you, take it back to you. So that way, that was our bit, how we evolved and developed with the situation.
Hello, good afternoon.
Aaron is one of the 43 students using the homework correction service. His father, Sudeep Dungana, usually drops off and picks up his homework to the tutors twice a week.
I'm worried about my son's study because due to this pandemic, schools has been shut down, and he's not allowed to go to school and study for his exam. But the exams are happening on time.
If you don't know Chinese, maybe you can advise him or encourage him to watch more Chinese cartoons.
We don't have that much time to teach him, and out of that, we don't know the Chinese language.
Maggie Lam is a tutor at the center. She says the impact of class suspensions is obviously reflected in the students' homework.
When we are correcting their homework, we must pay much attention on their concept of specific topic, and also the Chinese learning, such as Chinese sentence structure, Chinese the common words of Chinese meaning, and also their writing skills. Almost all of our students forgot what they have learned in school, and they cannot answer their homework and complete the homework correctly. So even though we provide the homework with clear teaching guidance, they still feel difficult to finish the homework.
In order to make homeschooling more efficient, the center is in the process of creating a series of Chinese vocabulary booklets for students to use in the new term.
We include the most common words of Chinese into different topics, and we can increase the Chinese rate English meaning and also Chinese pinyin for them. You can see here, it is the QR code recording, and then the student can stuff that at home.
Maggie is in charge of recording.
Chinese is their second language, and they're still much difficult to study Chinese at home without the help and guidance.
The current state of them, missing out 6 hours, 7 hours of school is going to be a massive loss and damage to a child's growth. We are currently working on new learning resources wherein we feel that the child could have these at home. It will facilitate the child's learning process.
Schools are utilizing the summer holidays to prepare for the new academic term as well. Primary school principal To Kar-hing doesn't see any sign the pandemic will end soon, so he's been busy taking precautions at his Yuanlong campus. In case schools open up to allow students back to regular classes, their school has implemented new technologies to ensure a clean, safe environment.
This is a smart school system. We can measure the temperature and the composition of the different impurity in the air, so we can get this information. Another thing is the management system, so we can setting about which day, which time, switch on and switch off. So we can, it's a better way to manage the energy. For this robot, I designed it by myself. We make it more child-friendly for the student. We make it more human-like. We want to arouse the interest to know more information about the classroom.
To Kar-hing and his colleagues have contingency plans in place if the Education Bureau changes its guidelines on classes for junior and senior students. They'll conduct online teaching for junior students and in-person classes for the seniors. Given the fact that some teachers teach in both forms, To hopes to work out a schedule to fit both students and teachers.
For the junior student, they have a virtual online timetabling. It's quite different from we have now. Maybe part of the form, maybe P5, P6 will come to school, another maybe on the web. So we should have developed a timetabling to cope with this kind of situation.
To says P1 students will need more time than others to get familiar with a new system, starting their new online school life.
They are come from different kindergarten, and then before they come to my school. So also we know there is a certain period of stop-schooling in kindergarten too. So we may use 1 or 2 weeks to compensate what they have learned, try to help what they learn, get familiar with what the starting point of the student first, in order to have a short course for them, make them more ready to the new curriculum.
Because the school is in Yuanlong, some cross-boundary students living in Shenzhen will also travel and study here. But as the border is closed, the school must make special arrangements for its mainland Chinese students. It is developing a new platform for them to study in the same system with the local students.
We are thinking about, is there a better platform that can cope with 2 groups of people together? They can use the same platform. It's more easy for the teacher.
He hopes the government will consider adopting the platform for examinations as well, if the pilot system works.
Because they cannot come back to sit for the examination. This is the most difficult way to cope with. What I'm thinking, is it possible for the EDB department, let them to have the same examination paper on some school, have an examination site in Shenzhen. They can come together, distribute the same. We have also an examiner and the same system. I think it's fair.
To Kar-hing calls his entire program the Anti-Epidemic Measure 2.0, since it's the school's second version of its COVID-19 prevention measures. Apart from teaching, he says the school emphasizes non-academic activities as well.
Okay. I'm thinking about education is a home education, not just teaching and learning. They have many aspects. They still have to do the exercise. Some kind of art and music, I think it's more balanced. The cup software I'm seeing is that many parents play together with the student together, very happy. We're just thinking about any homemade, very easy musical instrument, just to play some kind of musical game, release their stress.
Flower arranging is another stress-relieving class that started since the second school suspension. Students and parents are welcome to attend the live online class together, which is designed to enhance parent-student relationships.
Today I will teaching some Japanese flowers and teach my students how to use the color sense like dark purple and yellow colors, because this colors is contrast colors. Then it is some color sense to help them to learn some about art.
咁我哋數一層、兩層、三層。
Because of the COVID-19, my students didn't have any activities, and I want to help them to more relaxing times, and they can learn something new in this holiday.
The principal says these new classes will continue in the new term. Even though Minaj's summer school plans didn't pan out as he wanted, he's staying positive about the new school term, looking forward to regular classes and the extracurriculars.
Normally, our summer school is extremely exciting. We have a social impact program, so we take them to various educational trips all over Hong Kong. This summer also, we had planned everything identically. Just absolutely everything identically the same. But so far, it's a challenge. It's about what the situation can provide you with and how best we can help the kids with that situation. So at the moment, yes, it's not the best of times, but that's all right. You know, life is never meant to be easy.
After the break, a different kind of O2O retail experience when Pearl Magazine returns. Stay with us. Welcome back. The coronavirus pandemic has so far led people to eat differently, shop differently, essentially live differently. Some studies suggest habits formed now will last long after the crisis, perhaps permanently changing how and where we shop. Reporter Tina Jiang finds out how local consumers have adapted to the new normal and how retailers are using technology to relieve hygiene concerns. From online shopping to contactless payments, nothing is off the table.
Every day at 4 a.m. while most of the city is still fast asleep, Aberdeen Fish Market comes to life with people, boats, and of course, the fish.
Eating seafood is part of Hong Kong's culture. Most of our seafood is from Southeast Asia, Mainland China, and Australia. Aberdeen Fish Market has over 100 years of history. More than 90% of the city's live seafood is traded here.
Wet markets and restaurants can pick up the freshest ingredients here because it's dedicated to wholesale trade between fishermen and seafood merchants. But for individual consumers, the catch of the day may not be so easy to net.
Maybe you go for hot pot dinner at 11 p.m. or midnight. The restaurant may be out of seafood. Of course, it doesn't want to keep too much, unless the business is very good that day.
Based in the fish market, Mui and his partner decided on a game-changing plan. Instead of wholesale, which they've been doing for years, they're investing more in the retail side with business-to-consumer marketing.
If you buy seafood from wet markets, it has also gone through the wholesale and logistic process. Compared to buying from an upper supply chain like us, the price would be pretty much the same.
Seeing is believing. The company developed an application where customers can view the live streaming of their seafood and then order online.
You can see we have many cameras on the seafood. This one is filming the lobster pool. Our online customer service is available 24 hours. You can text them and pick the one you like. Then our staff will weigh it over there, all via live streaming. You can see the weight. Then you can confirm and pay. If the customer bought a fish, we would put it into a plastic bag and add oxygen inside, so the fish can live up to 6 hours. It's still swimming when delivered.
They started the online operation in October last year. Business has boomed since the virus outbreak.
We receive around 12,000 orders per month. In February and March, when the pandemic was really bad, we had a lot of business. In April, May, and June, the outbreak was under control. More people went out for dining rather than cook at home. Our business fell back a little. And since July, when it got worse again, our orders went up.
Mui says 85% of their customers say they'd buy from them again. Ms. Ho, a regular customer, has ordered from the app several times.
My name is Maggie. I'm an ordinary housewife. Today I ordered a live coral trout, an Alaskan king crab, and South African abalones, etc. It's a family member's birthday today. We haven't been dining outside because of the pandemic. The original plan is to have a simple dinner, but now we can have a rich seafood feast. I spent roughly $4,000. Reasonable.
While trapped at home, Ho spent more time buying groceries online.
I found their post the seafood set was attractive, so I downloaded the app. It's very easy to use, just need to order 1 or 2 days in advance. If I order today, they will deliver it to me the day after tomorrow.
Ho says she'll continue shopping online even when the pandemic is over.
I used to buy things online a few times a month, but now almost all my groceries are bought online. I'm trying not to go out, therefore online shopping is the best option.
In a survey conducted in March, a local market research firm revealed changes in the consumption habits of the Hong Kong population. Close to half the people say they spent more time browsing online shopping platforms. And more than 1/3 said they have purchased more groceries online.
That's what we call the new normal. Online grocery shopping, online shopping browsing, social media engagement, online entertainment are the ones claimed under these new normals. They claim that they would be doing more of these continuously, even the COVID-19 is over.
She says contactless payment has become more popular because touching surfaces has become risky.
Consumers having concern on payments with contacts now. The figure of using more mobile payment than cash to avoid unnecessary contact rose from 33% to 43% in 4 months' time.
One taxi driver has noticed the new trend and has since installed a mobile payment system in his taxi. More passengers are willing to tap and go.
More people prefer to use this. They ask whether they can tap to pay. It's so convenient, and I would also encourage them to use the service. Some customers would ask for my name card and see if I can give them a ride next time. Using cashless payment is for the benefit of customers and also for myself. Cash is dirty. Mobile payments would be much safer, because no change is needed. Customers can just quickly tap and go.
Mr. Chung has been working as a taxi driver for 8 years. He understands why it's difficult for other drivers to use digital payment.
Most taxi drivers like to get paid right away. In the past, some mobile payment devices would keep the money for 2 to 3 days before transferring to the drivers. But now, many understand money can be transferred to them anytime, so more people can accept it.
For taxi payment, unlike other retailers, they may not be in a rush, or they have to handle massive transactions at one time. So in terms of the need for cashless payment, it may not as imminent as, the other categories or the other industries. Habitually, they are accepting cash. And then they may also need cash to pay for a lot of the daily expenses, like for the gas and everything. So habitually, cash is the dominant or their preferred payment means. So it will be quite difficult to change it. But now with the pandemic spread, so we see there is another opportunity and give them a stronger reasons why they have to consider, accepting cashless payment.
Rita Lee is working for a local company that operates the city's leading electronic payment system. She says the number of new retailers converting to use their cashless payment system has increased by around threefold from the first half of 2019.
We see their mindset is changing lately. So even, during the interactions with a lot of the taxi drivers, indeed, many of them, they are getting high awareness, and then they have been asking, inquiring about what would be the payment solutions.
Lee says the company is now offering free Bluetooth readers to the city's small and medium retailers, including hawkers, taxi drivers, and pop shops. The promotion will last until the end of this year.
Handling cash, has a risk of virus spreading. If we can reduce cash payment, that we can help to contain the spread of the virus. We hope that, by offering this new service, that we can help the whole community to convert cash payments to digital payments.
Traditionally, small shops, which are often on tight margins, don't want customers to use mobile payment because of the fees charged for transactions. But now, facing an unprecedented crisis, they need to try everything they can to survive.
Almost everyone has a home office now. People rather stay at home than go out even during holidays. That has a huge impact on us. I'm doing just 20% of my original business now. The company charges $1 for every $100 my customers pay. It can be easily covered by $1 or $2 tips I get from the customers. So I don't care about the transaction fees.
With the pandemic and all the closures of shops reported every day in the news, Hong Kong retailers, they don't spend to adapt and capture a changing demand. They may have to close down soon. Our data shows that Hong Kong people now understand the post-COVID world may still be further away than they initially expected. So it is really important to understand the defined new normal and track how it evolves over time. Whether some of those new behaviors and preferences last beyond the pandemic will depend on how long it lasts and how ingrained those new behaviors will become by then.
That's our show for this week. Next week on Pearl Magazine, we go on a journey with those who've been searching their whole life for long-lost family members. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.